Where the game sound at? There it is.
Ooh.
Look at that perfect timing. Click, click. You want to make sure your Glock's not left on burst fire, sir. No P250s for the T side. Full Kevlar, though. Moving up second mid. Not first mid, but second mid. Second of his name. Jumping onto the balcony. Oscar spots it, but it's not an ideal duel. He's backing off to fight with his teammates. In that corner, he's essentially a bait because there's one person pit, one person graveyard. So if they try and chase him down, thinking he can't retreat, that they would run into a trap. However, trap has been avoided. Oscar getting a pick in mid. He's getting a lot of pistol kills these days in this tournament. 2 players in banana. Bomb may be spotted. Finally, Astralis with an opening kill, top mid.
And they decide that it's time to hit that A-bomb site. Decent positioning here between Stiko and his comrades. He can move to the bomb site. Rob's there killing chickens, but it's no time to kill the chickens. The Poyo is gone. But now we have to see Chris J and Sunny go for the clutch. See if they are going to be able to summon the powers of the demon, James. Get themselves in there. Chris J with 1. That's a very important kill. Removing the player from apps is absolutely critical here. It's a good start, but can it be capitalized upon? Chris J is going to go down here. I think he spotted both remaining players. Sunny, there's no bones about it. He's got to go straight in there for the kills, and he's going to try to do so, forcing the issue, but it's very awkward at that range.
And there is the pistol for Astralis. Nice. Very quick note, somebody asked me if it matters where on YouTube they watch once their account is linked. And no, it doesn't. Doesn't matter where you watch. If it's youtube.com or gaming.youtube.com, you will be eligible for drops once your account is linked. So go forth and be merry.
Unless you spam exclamation drop in the chat, then you get immediately disqualified from everything.
I think Parla's may have been blacklisted for such behavior. I have to check with the developers. Mousesports with most people going for the force buy, but as you will see, Oscar is saving for that AWP. Chest shot from Sunny. He's got more work to do though. Does he go through the smoke once again? No. Trying to avoid the spray of the MAC-10. Rappers the light. UMP in tow as well. Looking good for Astralis at the moment. That long reload on the UMP, always something to be aware of. And that's might be why you sometimes see teams buy a more expensive SMG with a shorter reload time. Situational.
Poor Sunny. He'll die. Perhaps he expected or was going for the happy-esque play with the Deagle there. I kind of saw it in my mind's eye. Although with the happy Deagle, of course, it's kind of different these days just due to the fact that the choke point is so much wider than the old Infernos. So those kinds of plays would be harder, I think, due to that fact. But still, we've seen generally, I think, more and more players do ridiculous things with the Deagle in Counter-Strike, which is fun, very fun to watch. But Astralis, you know, they have managed to pick up the pistol round. The following round was executed very well. There was, honestly, it did look like Chris could have gotten 2 kills there by Top Banana. They were fortunate not for that to happen. Chris sort of whiffing some shots there. And he's usually very on point, but lapse perhaps in that moment. And we see just a couple pistols saved. Stiko on the deke. Ooh, what is that? Instantly taking down 2 players with the 5-7. Maybe Rops is showing us that the 5-7 is still worth, James.
At close range, 5-7's great. But it's medium where question marks are raised, at least for me. Despite his best efforts, Rops, Stiko is in a 1 versus 3. Rubino is especially vulnerable. So maybe there's a chance. Not quite hitting the mark on Dupree, however. And it's 3-0 Astralis. However, that does mean that Monsieur Oscar has AWP. So here we see a replay. Oof. Nice. Cool as anything in the fridge. Cucumber or otherwise. It's
like a popsicle, perhaps.
Well, that would be in a freezer.
But you get what I'm saying that? Popsicle.
I do. But I mean, let's be honest.
I've been pedantic,
we were talking about fridges
I forgot you do that.
We were talking about refrigeration, Dan.
All right. Oh, Chris, we've seen this before from him. Oh my God, let's have a bit of a just making contact there. Very awkward.
I think Kiabi might have tried to punish the reload from Chris J there, with support from a flashbang. However, more players were ready. So we see Oscar towards the long position, getting kills, of course. That's what Oscar does. 4 versus 1. This is a great start to the first buy round for Mousesports, but can it be a great finish? 2-3 down to 11 HP. Still dangerous with an AK, but he has been neutralized.
And one thing to note, I suppose, is the fact that we saw Chris going really, or trying to get hyper-aggressive. He was trying to push the smoke, actually. And this is something that we'll probably see fairly often. I mean, Mousesports, Chris especially, does like to do it. And it has been to their detriment in the past. I do recall matches where they sort of just lose buy rounds because Chris just dies going hyper-aggressive on Banana. And it looks really bad when it goes wrong. But just the fight over Banana is this really important battle. And we see almost like half of both teams' utility often used in the beginning of a round just to take these positions. And Mousesports have, repeatedly shown that they don't like to give up that position if they can avoid it. They will fight for it and sometimes lose the round for it.
Chris J buying time for his team. Will that fire spread though? That is an awkward position. Just in time he manages to escape as the fire does spread. Maybe taking some bullets as well, but containment has been achieved. Excuse me. Minute mark for Astralis as they wait for the smoke to go. Or maybe not. They'll force their way through. Slightly early. Perhaps trying to catch somebody off guard with these flashbangs. But what do they do now? The bomb is in Banana, but there is still a minute on the clock, and it seems now Banana is secured, they will show some presence towards A.
So Astralis clearing top mid. Now they're a team that has amazing defaults, and we see, despite Mousesports' best efforts, they forced Mousesports to concede Banana as well. So Astralis, they pushed them back on A, they pushed them back on B. Now they have to make the call, but there's a gap in the smoke. Oscar is going to be very happy to see that. Looking for a potential push down Speedways. He's now in library side. Dupree alone to make the play. The taps, can he get something onto Rops perhaps? But it's not going to happen. It's going to be the rest of Astralis trying to make the plays towards the B side. Chris, we know he loves the taps, and there's one for all the fans, but Kirby will trade him out, and a 1v3, this is quite an ask. Can he get it done?
Oscar needs to wait for his team to rotate, and they will join him as he holds an angle. Kiabi will try and use the construction doors to get 1 versus 1s, and he'll get one. And he'll take one in the face as well. Rops is looking pretty sharp on Inferno. Mousesports take their second round, surviving with 3 players. Collecting all there is to be collected. Scavenging the odd grenade here and there on the B bomb site. Chris J with the taps once again, adding to the highlight reel. With his Dust 2 beanie.
Yeah. I am excited for the prospect that Dust 2 will return at some point in the future. I'm really excited for that prospect.
Hopefully not too soon, as it still needs a number of updates.
It does.
Just for visibility, if nothing else.
Yeah.
I have emailed all my thoughts to Valve, and they have acknowledged them and sent them to the Dust 2 team. So we'll see what they make of those in due course, I suppose.
Pistols for Astralis, half buy. I need to be careful, there's no remaining utility for them, but they've used what they have bought to get themselves positioning towards library side. This is not looking too bad for them. Close in the distance against Oscar. Things do get a little bit scary should he miss shots, but looks like Astralis will disperse here. Some room to breathe and room to take down additional opponents. Oscar is safe. And so is the A-bomb side. Chris the only one towards B, and there's 2 players here, and he will die immediately, so there's an opportunity to plant the bomb.
Oscar racing towards CT. Can he get an angle before these T's cross? Going for the Molotov instead, but without smoke grenades, maybe the AWP would have been more effective. A sniper rifle does kill people after all, whereas a Molotov may just deter, but it seems he was perhaps trying to concentrate on stopping a bomb plant. then thinning out the numbers. 4 versus 3. Rops has taken some damage. There are some flashbangs for the CT side as well. But Kiabi's in a strong position. And Oscar's the one leading the charge into construction with 2 rifles behind him. That is madness. Kiabi picked up a UMP, but he's still continuing with the Deagle. The defuse is coming in. 10-second defuse. AWP rescued. More expensive than it perhaps needed to be. But it is a successful round for Mousesports.
Is it me or does Seeker look a little bit like Maniac?
I think it's slightly reaching there. I mean, marginally.
Marginally. Anyway, pretty good damage there done by the Astralis side there, especially with Kirby able to get a couple extra bits of damage in right at the end there. And that's a really good result, all things considered. The AK is now out, and generally speaking, there is definitely value to be gained from the aggression on Banana, I think. Again, Mousesports have shown time and again that Chris J is just trying to play pretty aggressively here. He's trying to stay as long as he possibly can. And Sunny actually pushed forwards with the Molotovs as well. Committed into the push, it's going to work out well. And in fact, Astralis only wanted to harass. They were not committing to this position. And that's going to actually allow Mousesports to get a kill and push. That's really big. Mousesports with quite the advantage into the start of this round. How far will Chris go?
Focusing on the top mid area are the T's, but Oscar is forcing the issue. One player in the pit, but Rob takes him down. Oscar and Stico delivering more kills. Mousesports looking solid. Astralis being kept on the other side of the moat, running around on their horse. Doesn't seem to be a bridge at the moment as Mousesports take the lead. Really hard to see through that smoke from the from the grenade explosion, through the flames, but Sonny still delivers. Something to be careful about as well if you are a sniper looking through a Molotov is that your opponent may see better than you will. It's really a difficult situation when you've got a scope looking at a Molotov, so bear that in mind. Might save your life. Pistols again for Astralis. A familiar story in these what few rounds we've seen so far on Inferno. CZ, some flashes to get into position, but the Molotovs will be a problem once more.
Pushed all the way back, as it should be. Got to have the healthy respect for the CZs. Oscar, again, the gap in the smoke. I mean, he's just going to be enjoying this. I mean, this is so awesome to play with for Oscar. I wonder if that is intentional to have the gap there. Because that's the second time that's happened.
It can't be. It can't be. But the decision-making from Oscar was quite fun to watch. Okay, 3 kills on A. A is almost clear. Sunny, what does he do? Does he commit here? Or does he just try to take out a T as they move into post-plant positions, waiting for his teammate? Can we see the money quickly for the CT side, please? So they can buy if they lose everything in this round, but it won't necessarily be ideal for them. This is going to be an expensive round either way. Can they really give it up, though? There's a smoke. They can put it towards the pit to give Sunny some extra cover because Astralis are going to play the numbers game, and indeed, smart decision. They're going to give it up. They've got the AWP as well, so at least that is something. I was going to say earlier, the decision-making when Oscar took that shot through the corner of the smoke was really cool. The way he kept shoulder peeking while he's waiting for the scope cooldown to go away, making sure he saw if any T's went past the angle and behind the smoke. Some nice jiggle peeking from him in that situation, but ultimately Astralis will get an unexpected round, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, and you can see this is the play that did it. The pop flash through the smoke there. The cool thing there as well is that like you hear the flash, the pop, the underhanded throw.
The priming, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously the Zipex turns, and it's like such a perfect timing there to get that initial kill. And when the pit player goes down to that, it's just everything is destabilized. So, but plenty of money here for Mousesports to have this full buy in the following rounds. And again, previously they had an advantage around Banana.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a great shot there from Dupree. Speaking of good peaks.
I wonder if he even saw Stico. I don't feel like he did.
Oh my god. I'm telling you, man, Chris J loves to just push. Even into his own... I
can only assume that he was grenaded while he was standing next to his Molotov, and then the Molotov just finished him off. Well, that sucks. And this is a very key round for Astralis because Mousesports may not have much left if they get wiped out in this round. 3 versus 5. What do you do in this situation? They're still 2 on A and 1 on B. They may even want to consider stacking one side in this situation because now Oscar is alone. One person taken down on each side, and that's why you may see those gambles, and Astralis simply wait for the rotation, and Oscar's still surrounded. Easier said than done, though, to take him out. Those wallbangs are really interesting. He's still alive. Kiabi continues to go wide, and Zepex will finally finish things off. AWP taken away, collected by the T side as well, and Astralis are back in the lead.
Yeah, I love how they waited for the rotation from Sunny. You can see Sunny was super surprised. He thought that it was like a fully committed push into A. And that's really cool because it doesn't cost you anything if you have a lot of time left in the round to wait for like 10 seconds just to see if that's going to be something, you know, a rotation is going to happen. And then you catch it, and then it's just like such a guaranteed round at that point. So that's just these small details are really nice from Astralis. And it's something that they use to good effect on Train as well in some of the rounds they won. Oscar getting the AWP out. That's interesting. They're going for the full buy, and do they have enough to actually do this? Well, I guess they think that they do, but the utility is lacking. And a mag 7 for Rops. Steagle on Steak. This is scary, James. This is definitely not ideal for Mousesports. How are they going to use this? Will they play passively, or will they just try to get an early run advantage? Rops will go into the apps, I imagine. Ooh, nice run boost! Oh, wow, that was close.
How often do you see that? Chris J is at the point of no return deep. His teammate isolated from him, maybe because of that Molotov. Trying to aggressively take Banana, doesn't work out. And now Sunny has to deliver, as he often did on Train. Trying to smoke things off. Will the T's commit beyond it? They will. Kiabi making his way through. Gamble of his own, and it pays off. One more play, though. Oscar is ready, and that's a nasty surprise.
Yeah, Oscar looking to go back in here, fully committing around the smoke with the AWP close range. It's not easy to do, but he'll pick it up anyway. But now look at the situation. The players coming in to try to save the day. It's Stiko with a Deagle. It's Rops with the Mag 7. Perhaps there will be guns to be collected though for Rops. He'll find himself an AK, I think, or even... Oh, there's the AK on the ground. Now, if Stiko can just wait for Rops to create an opening, they can do this. They do have a kid as well on Rops. As he starts to close down the positions. Will they expect second oranges and new boxes? That's the question. There's a bit of info for Rops. He makes some noise though. Flix comes in, but he doesn't land the shot. He needed that one. He needed that one. And the round is diffused by Astralis.
So unfortunate for Rops. I thought he was going to try and jump up on the barrels after clearing out other positions, but falling off the ledge concedes his position essentially, and that may have been a fatal mistake. Great play from Oscar, but trying to go back to a safe position. Zepex spraying in the right place, and he just runs into bullets there. Tight rounds, but in the end, it is Astralis who prevail. Oscar's back on the AWP. Around a bunch of pistols, so I'm very curious as to what he's going to try and do. This is surely going to be a hyper-aggressive round from the man. One served, but Oscar's still hungry. There is more dinner to be had, more chicken in the barbecue.
But do they think he's rotated or not? That's the question. Well, I guess they know now. The question was answered.
And they're leaving 4 people in the A bomb site, although Chris J's starting to rotate. And it seems Astralis are content to continue to press Oscar. And Oscar is in the high-risk situation, so close to Rubino, but he's going to be pissed with that one.
I really like the fact that Astralis, they saw that the AWP was on B, and then they just kept pushing, because there's a lot of unknowns. You could be thinking, oh, you know, well, the AWP's there, let's try to rotate the AWP elsewhere, but then you run into pistol. Like, there's so many complications that can happen. So I like that they just were like, you know what, if Oscar's going to be there, we have numbers, we have utility, we can just, if he just plays good spacing, we can trade him out. And it's probably less likely that there's pistols there. Perhaps that was their thought process, and if that was it, they were correct. So I like that. I like it a lot. And as you say, if Oscar hits that shot on Rubino, they could very well win that round, Mousesports. But alas for them, he did not. And Astralis will be happy now being 7 against 4 on the scoreboard, and now facing up against the Mousesports that are truly broke. Truly, truly broke. Or are they? Have I completely misread the money? Well, they have just enough.
Full buy, of course.
Well, they've got a UMP. Do they have enough for full nades? Okay, we've got the AWP as well. So actually, yeah, it is close enough. Lacking some grenades, though. Some flashbangs. 500 face-it points.
That's just tight, man.
That's a bit stingy.
How are you going to give a guy 500 face-it points when you've got like 6 million face-it points in the hole? That's harsh. Why would you do this? I thought the minimum was 1,000 or something.
Yeah.
Like, who is tweaking the numbers? Who's turning the knobs? CEO's like, rein it in, guys, come on. We've given away too much. How about this for a creep? Really curious as to how you engage the graveyard positions walking through with an AWP. But also note, for those of you at home, I think most people, if they wanted to do that, would go towards the end of the balcony and then scope in. And that would give all the information to the CT side. You're almost always going to have somebody on the balcony. So you have to scope in earlier. You'll see Fallen do it a lot. He will walk a fair distance scoped in so he doesn't give his position away. Element of surprise, ever so important, especially when you are a sniper, an aggressive one.
This is one of the few rounds where Mousesports have no presence towards Banana. I mean, every single other buy round we've seen Chris J pushing it, pressing it, even killing himself there. And this round there's nothing. And Astralis walking it. They are walking Banana. So this could be a very brutal surprise because there is no information about this. Chris J is playing the bomb site with an M4A1S. He's just smoked it though, which is nice. But this needs to be backed up by an info play. There's 25 seconds on the clock. No one has died. Where is the information play here from Mousesports? They need to find out what's going on. They've got to start rotating. There's a player floating over. It's Sunny, but he's got a UMP. Is this really fast enough? Chris J can't get a single thing. Sunny through the smoke! Only gets one.
AWP rattling off through that smoke, through the mist. But Kjabi's in a forward position. I don't think he's been detected. Oscar appears to be looking towards the site, firing off some more shots. Is it a save from Mousesports? They're really having a lot of trouble on B, on Banana. And it continues. Mousesports harassing, but Kjabi is patiently waiting, and I can't imagine Mousesports going for this. Will he start to hunt? Of course he will. Straight away, there's an instant flashbang from his teammate, tagging Rops, slowing him down. But Oscar's there to save the day, or save his teammate. The day is lost, it seems, at least for this round. Maybe in the next round will be a new day.
Uh-oh. Ooh, nice. Very nice, very nice. Oscar taking refuge in the library. A scholar, a gentleman, and an absolute fiend with an AWP. Oscar still carrying that into the next round, but it's not the best situation in the world for Mousesports. Things starting to get away from them, as you said. They have been struggling a little bit with Nana. There's a difficult dynamic on this map and a big focal point. UMP, CZ, lack of full grenades. Oscar takes the risk. Doesn't go too deep though, actually, so fairly safe.
I suppose that music was a violin as well.
Definitely not a violin, mate.
I'm just checking.
Obviously, you don't. I mean, that's a fair question because you don't clearly know what a violin is. So
I know what a violin is.
I respect
that you don't know what a violin is.
But I was right. I was proved right by.
No. He said all kinds of instruments before. That's like 5% violin.
He said violin.
Yeah, eventually, after 10 other instruments.
And he said it's clearly an instrument with a bow, and a violin is an instrument played with a bow. So.
Oh, it must be a violin then. Chris J alone with the CZ towards Banana, and Glaive is very close. I do wonder what's about to happen there. So we see a standoff. Can we say a Mexican standoff? Because we are in Mexico and it is a standoff, right? Around the A site.
You just generally say whatever you want, Jay. I don't know why you're asking me.
That's true. Chris J, well, there was a close situation with Chris J and Glaive, but Glaive has backed off, as has Chris J. They're leaving 4 people in the A bomb site, but as this push comes in very, very slowly, I do wonder if a second person might go towards the B bomb site. The grenades are being deployed. Stiko looking up, but it's effectively taken out by Oscar. There's the bomb down. There's all the information. 2-man spray down for Sunny, and Dupree is alone. Can't get anything done. Nobody falls for Mousesports, which bodes well for the rounds to come.
That was really cool from Mousesports. They were very proactive And that can happen as well. Like if you, I mean, that's like one of those spots where there's an opportunity, but it takes a really good team to see it. Where you have like this push coming in, Astralis are like slightly too slow, and then there's like there's this window of timing. And we actually saw one pop flash for Sunny, but he didn't push with it. And I thought that he would initially, and it was very smart that he didn't. And then everything collapsed at once for Astralis as the timings worked out for Mousesports. They played that great, and they are back in it to win it, perhaps. Bomb has been left in actual, almost basically T-spawn, which is, I mean, usually gets dropped a little bit further up, but that's fine, everything's fine. dupreeh will get the pick off again. He's been pretty good out of the boiler position. dupreeh sort of does what you see Fur doing commonly for SK on this map. It's great that we have Jordan actually on the analyst desk for this match, because he has so much Inferno gold, James. Ooh, 1 HP.
But manages to escape. chrisJ gambling. Very risky job for chrisJ around Banana. 1 minute mark on the bomb is collected by the T side. They don't really have the presence they might want on Banana for the time being, but will they choose to establish it? Rubino is still there with his 1 HP. chrisJ is still creeping.
Yeah, he wants to go in like Bloodseeker from Dota. He senses the weakness of Rubino. Uh-oh. Ooh, I actually think both players missed each other there. Either way, it's really on his, I was about to say, the rest of chrisJ's teammates to get information, because chrisJ's in the most weak position on his team. Like, he's again alone, and B, he's got reinforcements now, but you can't just have a situation where chrisJ's just at the back of the bomb site and you have no information. And so there's 30 seconds left, and Mousesports, they got a pick off earlier with Sunny, and now they're playing 2 to a bomb site.
Well, because they picked off top mid and only saw one player there, Mousesports have started to rotate towards the B bomb site, but Astralis also aware of this, rotate towards A because they realize what Mousesports might do. Sunny trying to fight from the pit, only good for 1 kill though. Rop's doing his best, but it seems that A will be taken, and down goes the smoke.
Some good damage done though, for both teams, but it is of course Astralis who have weaker players, but they have the defensible positions behind the smokes, and the off angle from Rubino is a smart way to play it, but no one will arrive from that position. Everyone coming in from the library. Kirby hearing the scopes. Zipex waiting for the perfect moment. Is that going to be it here? Kirby. There it is. Very easy frags for Kirby. And no one dies at the end for Astralis. 9-5. And Astralis is doing a really good job at the moment, expanding upon their lead.
You have to credit the awareness from both sides there in that mid-round situation, the decision-making. Mousesports, they made the right decisions with the information they had. There's one guy holding an angle towards Arch top mid, and there's nobody else seen for the entirety of mid. Take him out, the rest must be towards the B bomb site. They don't really have positions to push A at that time, so Mousesports rotate a second player there. They have a third player in CT spawn as those grenades come in, and then go back towards the A site, and it works out swimmingly for them. Trades on Banana, and chrisJ will have a job to do once again. Early exchanges though, so no over-rotation from the CT side, although the grenades keep coming, but chrisJ is thinning the numbers. Now this is a tough spot for Astralis. A minute 20 on the clock, lots of time, but with 3 or even 2.5 players at this point, what can you do?
Good flash timing there to get Oscar off the angle, but ooh, he won't be denied the frag, but the trade is set up there by Zipex. Rop's playing pits, has support on the site from Stiko. The Rop-Stiko crossfires have been pretty good. Now dupreeh, speaking of good entry fragging, he is definitely right on the top of the list. There's one. Surely he has the sense that there's a player in the pit. He's spotted him now. Rop's taking a lick of damage. Has to try to survive now. In fact, he might even have to make the play. His teammate's just frankly not in position here. So Rops, he might have to go for the frags. He tries, but dupreeh finds the angle. dupreeh doing a great job. Chris, though, in a 1v2, definitely going for this. Last round, of course. Has a smoke. No kits on him, though.
Does he look to his left? Does he look to his right? dupreeh dead. Hasn't spotted Zipex though. I think he might fire some shots, but Zipex will have enough left to win the last round of the first half. 10-5 start for Astralis, or 10-5 half rather, not start. That's a pretty good situation moving into the second half, especially when you are mapped down at present. But a pistol rounds could change everything. Score could easily be 8-10, or it could be 5-13. Or maybe even somewhere in between. Time will tell. But it's, I think Astralis are in a confident position at the moment. Full Kevlar for the CT side. P250 on Chris J. He's raid boss. Stico's dropped in the P250, so Chris J will have that added range. P250, one shot to the head on a pistol round, almost double the range of a Glock. Speaking of which, there's a headshot from Oscar, but he doesn't kill Kiabi because he doesn't have the P250.
Yeah, Oscar got told to sit down. Pew pew from Glaive, doesn't find much. Forced to back away. But this is fine, I mean, for Astralis. They've got the initial pickoff. And I was about to say that...
As a perfect example, P250 versus Glock.
I was about to say that it's even though they're 5v4, they're still not really in a safe position. You know, in some respects, you might feel like, oh, they can play super defensively, but you still sort of want to get a pick off before the Glocks close the distance in numbers. It didn't go well for Glaive, as you say. The PT50 coming in handy.
Very individual duels we're seeing here on the pistol rounds. Normally it's Bedlam, and maybe the Bedlam will begin as Mousesports charge into the B bomb site. It's effective with a nice angle as the bomb gets planted in the smoke. Old school strats there. 3-on-3 now. All the CTs are here. Rob's taken down, trying to win his 1v1 around construction. Now, Stico in a nice position, standing on the ledge, so if somebody tries to pre-fire, they'll shoot him in the legs rather than the head. He's forced away now. Crossfire for the T side, but can it work out for them? Stico has a lot to do here. Only good for the one kill. Chris J's got some nice angles. That's a lovely one-tap. P250 again. Oh, he runs out of bullets. But is there time? I don't think there is for Rubino. It's going to be a close one.
Oh, I think he's...
No. He will save the armor. Or will he? He will. P250 boys. Hashtag P250 boys. You heard it here first.
Here it is. Oh, that is a really nice shot. Then the second one here. Bosh. Oh,
Glock is never killing from that range.
Oh,
P250 won them the pistol round.
Oh,
you could argue. There is an argument for that.
Okay, so the pistol rounds. So we have a pistol round 1 for either side in this map. It's always nice to see that balance, to be honest, like both teams getting a chance to have a good start. That said, they have to defeat the force buy round, and that's something that no one really seems impervious to. Even the greatest teams in the world have lost from this advantage in this game of Counter-Strike Global Offensive. 5 smokes as well from Astralis. That's awesome to see, because on Inferno, that does make things a little bit complicated. For the T side, that is.
One thing Dan and I always talk about when we are commentating the North American part of the ECS League in rounds such as this, especially on Inferno, is a CT side on an eco or a force buy and their use of smoke grenades to try and thwart the timing of a T side who play a slow anti-eco or anti-force buy. I think when, say, NRG, for example, are on the T side in this situation, they tend to play very slow rounds, and I feel are very vulnerable to late smoke grenades, which we don't really see in North American Counter-Strike so much. But you will see from the likes of Astralis, so many smokes from them. Although Mousesports, you can see they're trying to do a good job of taking advantage of top mid early, and they're running away, but Glaive has been in, he's been deep in Arch all this time, so he will quickly have a look and see that nobody's there. So here comes the rotation from Astralis, and look at the late smoke grenade. There are 20 seconds left. This is exactly what we're talking about. The flashbang, though, will save Oscar, but there are more Ts in position, or CTs rather, and this is it. They collapse on them. Rubino going for a gun, but this is why the smoke grenades are so powerful in a round such as this. They contain Mousesports top mid. Mousesports, they try to force the CTs back so they don't have the info. They can't do that. Glaive is right there, top mid. Here's them running away. Instant rotation from Astralis. Late smoke grenade towards Banana, and Mousesports' hand is forced into a less than ideal situation. Running through smoke with less than 20 seconds left is a disaster for a T side. That's an absolutely perfect round. That is a lesson to North American teams right there.
Not just North American teams, James, but we did see it a lot in North American Counter-Strike. But it is a mistake made by all. Let's be...
By many. I wouldn't say all. I wouldn't say all because that would include Astralis. Do you hate me then?
So we've got Chris J looking for Praxit towards top banana. Not going to work out for him. I feel like it depends on the day, James.
That's fair enough.
Depends on the day.
I respect that. It is a relationship after all.
Rob's the only man with a, well, I say respectable gun. The Deagle obviously does a lot of awesome work. We all love the Deagle, but with an automatic rifle, let's say. High-powered rifle. Not really going too well, though, for Mousesports. The worst has happened for Mousesports. Astralis should be on 13 rounds before Mousesports can fight back. And this game looks like, from this position, Astralis are really setting up that third map. Which was Nuke, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Nuke?
I
Nuke, right?
believe
Sure it's
so.
Nuke.
I will double check.
Like, my brain wanted to say Overpass because the last third maps were Overpass, but I'm pretty sure it's Nuke. It was between Mirage and Nuke, and I think it was Nuke. Which would be very interesting.
It is indeed Nuke, Dan.
You are correct. Get wrecked, our observer, Sliggy. Get absolutely wrecked. So, most awkward map for the observer to observe because the bomb sites being stacked on each other, but we're not there just yet. It's time to talk about the pistols of Mousesports. They got 4 pistols and a PT-50, no armor, no utility. They're going to die, James.
Sonny has a P250, but gone are the days of one shots on a helmet with a P250. Still there for the 5-7 as Rops demonstrated many moons ago. Ooh, the numbers game, the shooting gallery, sniper rally, 13-6. Mousesports back on the buy, 4,500 average or just below. Let's say 4,300 average. They've got a fair amount of grenades. They've got enough for a take of top mid. They don't really have enough for a take of banana versus a well-equipped CT side who want to take it, and they will with 3 players towards B. So the focus will have to be, at least in the early round, A for Mousesports. With the very few flashes they have, once the initial grenades have gone for the CT side, they could go back towards bottom ramp and flash into banana for some presence there, but it will be early focus towards A. Dupree surely will not re-aggress that angle, but where will he head? 4 players now on A after starting with 3 on B for Astralis.
This is basically the last good chance that Mousesports may have, potentially. And they're forced to go for an A play. 4 players here indeed for Astralis. It's good, perfect defense. Kirby starts it off well. There's one. It's just coming down like a house, a stack of cards. And they're all dead. 14-6. Mousesports with not that much to speak of in that round. And it's really difficult because, like James said at the beginning of the round, they didn't have the grenades to really make many other plays here. So, and Astralis seemed to realize that straight off the bat with the setup on the site. So, again, we talk about the awareness of these tier 1 teams, and Astralis is showing that again and again. Back to the pistols. Oh dear.
How deep will he go? Measuring stick is out. And the water's not too high just yet, but then there's no need to overextend. Tees can quickly emerge up second mid. Zipex having more success in banana than Chris J did. Love those stacks. See it every now and then. Mousesports not getting much mileage out of this car. Perhaps the wheels are about to fall off.
Yeah, they've been unable to trade anything so far. There's one, though, and the thing is that Dupree he's happy to sacrifice Kirby because that will give Oscar the confidence to push the angle, and that's where Dupree's ready and waiting. Stico taking some hits And there's one that he can't recover from. Norkin Rops, 15-6. One more chance here for Mousesports to have a bye, but if they even are to win this, it is quite the trek back up the mountain. Astralis looking so good on Inferno. And this is really nice to see, to be honest, because I feel like the way that Astralis lost that first map, that would have been very disappointing for them. But they've bounced back like champions in Inferno. But it's not over just yet.
We have Kiabi has made his way into. He's made his way all the way through CTAPs, and I don't think he was detected. Oh, was he? Sunny's looking for the angle, so perhaps somebody did spot him going past the window position. Yeah, Sunny, he knows what's up here, and he's checking for it. Looking the wrong way though, but Rops is there as well. So crisis averted, but there are more aggressors in the apartment. Not an ideal situation for Rubino. Not ideal for Zipex after either. And Astralis, they're being broken like the bats.
All right, nice. So where's the money at right now for Astralis, actually? Like, how close are they to getting money screwed? Right, so honestly not too far away. I mean, their money could be much more than they have now, considering the scoreline. So
yeah, they're absolutely fine.
There is, I mean, if Mousesports are able to win a couple rounds in a row, they could, feasibly find that eco in the next 2 to 3 rounds.
The advantage, though, for Astralis is they only need one round, just the one. So they can just wait for full buys. They don't need to go for the. They don't need to stretch their economy. Only one round is required. Glaive playing with his toys, but his toys have been taken away. They've been confiscated by the school teacher. They've been deposited into the bin. 7-15. Halfway mark for Mousesports. They know what is being asked of them. The story can be read from their faces. Full buy for both sides. Again, just the one round required for the chaps on the CT side. For the gentlemen. Or gentlemen's if you're from Eastern Europe. Two players in Banana for Astralis, however, one is... oh, there's an exchange of positions, actually. Dupree will head towards Banana, as Glaive will head towards A. So I do wonder what setup we can expect from Astralis. I don't know if this is related to utility or to AWP, but he'll be boosted into the device position. And he'll be left. He'll be entrusted with a banana. Do not eat.
It's going to be off Dupree. I wonder how committed Mousesports are going to be towards A at the moment. Obviously, they're threatening A, but they still have time to double back, but they don't have any control towards Banana, and they would run into the Dupree AWP should they venture out there at this point. So perhaps there's too many unknowns. They are starting to creep back towards Banana, leading the way with the bomber, actually. 35 seconds left. Starting to see... Okay, they were going back down, maybe try to catch rotation. Now it's back into top mid to go for the play into the A side. 25 seconds.
This is not looking good. We've got the, I think Rops in Apartments was smoked off, but somehow he's made his way onto the balcony, taking some risk. There is a player underneath him, and it's still a crossfire on the site. Who will this favor? 3-on-3, lots of players tagged at the moment, and the kill feed is streaming in mostly with T's falling. Chris J, 1 HP, Chris J done. And that is the second game in favor of Astralis. We are going to a third map.
Yes, we will.